Okay, Equinese, here we go. So Equinese has a lot to do with the fact that horses speak the same kind of language, just, there's a general language they speak, and then there's individual dialects because each horse has their own path and their own things and their own stuff and traumas and injuries and stuff, just like we do, right? Like, I've had a ton of injuries, man. I've been chucked off gillion damn times. I've had concussions and busted legs, and, well, my leg was turned around at the knee. I didn't actually break the bones. And then just tons of injuries. I mean, I'm a horse trainer. I mean, we get chucked around. I've been riding for money for 30 years. So, like, you get hurt, especially if you're taking on projects and riding and stuff like that and having your own horses as well. So this also is about relationships, those individual relationships. That's what riding is. It's a relationship. It's not conditioning and training and obedience and all of that kind of shit. It's a relationship. It's a relationship like any other relationship, because this animal could vaporize my head with a single kick. And if they wanted to actually attack you, like with their mouth and stuff, they would turn you into literally unrecognizable bloody pulp. And that's what horses would do to you. Like, that's what they can do. I actually just watched a thing. I don't know why this kid comes up to me on YouTube, because she's just like the most frustrating person ever to watch, because she's like, everybody loves her. And you're just like, dude, she's mean. Like, I wouldn't let her hold the lead rope of this horse in this video. Or in this, the shorts I made was Spider. And this is him years ago when he was younger, and always trying to walk into the front door of my house, because he used to be allowed to walk around and graze and stuff, because there was grass and everything everywhere, and I could call him like a dog. Like, he can run, run right up to me wherever he's at. So, like, he's a doorknob. Like, he's a dork, and he's an idiot criminal as well. But we all know that our best friends or our best buds or our closest relationships we have, we chirp at them. I'm Canadian, so it's called chirping. It's talking shit, essentially, okay, and just bugging the shit out of stuff, and just, having a good sense of humor about it. We chirp at each other, and this guy's an idiot, okay? He's just a full-blown doorknob, and every morning I say, sup face, butt face. That's what I say to him all the time. Like, he's a dweeb. And he's also somebody I've known. He's one of the longest relationships I've had in my life, period, especially daily. Daily, he's 100% the longest relationship I've had. Because I've had him now, it's going on 17 years I've had him. I've known him since he was 10 months old, so I know everything about this horse. He's also an Akalteki. They're a rare breed, and he is the first of his breed born in Canada. That's just fact, that's just it. Akalteki are rare horses. He is one, and they are definitely different. It's like, but breeds of dogs are like that too. And, everybody, look at border collies compared to French bulldogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the difference in the types of dogs that they are and what they're capable of. Techies are a very old breed, up to, I think it's like almost 3,500 years old, 3,000 to 3,500 years old. I mean, these horses legit help change the fabric of the landscape that we see as human beings in society. They built society with us. Hot bloods, there's the hot blood group, the warm blood group, and the cold blood group. So we have to just remember that hot bloods and cold bloods created warm bloods. Hot plus cold equals warm. I mean, that's just it. So the hot blood group has Akalteki, Thoroughbred, and Arabian in it, any cross within therein. And then, but the Thoroughbred was created by Arabians, with Arabian blood and with Akalteki blood. So thoroughbreds wouldn't exist without Arabs and Akhal-Tekis, and thoroughbreds are integral in every warm blood pretty much. They have their Arab warm blood crossouts and stuff too, but the Techie blood crossouts you don't see much because they're rare because of the history of the breed and how they've gotten eaten and stolen and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of history that's really fucked up. And now with this Russian war, the likelihood of people getting more horses is going to be crazy because Russia stole them from Turkmenistan essentially. But you can still get them in Turkmenistan. Go to Turkmenistan if you want to get some. They're fucking amazing. Their bloodlines are insane. Like, to think everybody thinks this is what a quarter horse looks like. This is what this looks like. That's what this looks like. Here's one shape that's stamped out, blah, blah, blah. Akhal-Teki are not that. Akhal-Teki have amazingly different, like the Gelashikli line is different than the Kaplan line, which is different than, but there's lots of sire lines, and I'm just not going to get into it. Okay, it's the same with Arabs. Like, there's the Egyptian Arabs, the Polish Arabs, the Russian Arabs. There's a bunch of different Arabs, and so, like, then you get, so there's a lot of crazy stuff, even though Techies are more like the bloodlines are different, then the locations where they were bred is different. It was the actual bloodlines, but this is like that for any of the hot-blooded horses. Cold-blooded horses are big drafts, the big heavy ones. Any draft breed, any big drafty horse is considered a cold-blooded horse. And cold-blooded horses are work horses, they're draft horses, are the horses that are out there doing stuff. Now, warm bloods were created because hot bloods were too hot and too small to be pulling stuff, and cold bloods were too big and slow and just didn't have the stamina, the fitness level to be ridden. So they created a warm blood. They crossed the two out. So those horses were like the horses that could pull guns in the wars and pull carts and be able to really, like, if you see high level 4-in-hand or 6-in-hand driving, they're all warm bloods, all of them. And I mean warm bloods, like the hot end of warm blood, not the lukewarm bloods, like the lukewarm bloods are what trainers will call dumb bloods and stuff like that. And thoroughbred is in everywhere. XX on papers means thoroughbred. Then there's XO, which means ankle. There's a whole bunch of different things. I'm not going to get into that either. A thoroughbred can technically be registered as a quarter horse, like just technically. And if their babies earn enough points, they become like honorary quarter horses. So it's like, the thoroughbreds are hugely important. Like most hunter under saddle horses are pretty much 15th, 16th thoroughbred. The racetrack has quarter horse racetracks, but those are like pretty much 15th, 16th thoroughbred. They're not like the same kind of quarter mile sprinters they were that they were named for. So technically a warm blood quarter horse is a warm blood. It's like an American warm blood. So when we get into those kinds of things and understand just the reasons why these horses exist and why they do what they do, then we can kind of look at horses a lot differently, especially when they're individuals. Like, this guy's an absolute dickweed. Like, he's an idiot. He's standing at my door. I opened it up and I'm like, hello, Spider, because he was pushing at it with his nose. And his ears to the side because Pickles is over there going... Because Pickles is the one that used to bring him to the house. She was probably right off to his hip there at the side. He's probably like, oh, she caught us, dude. Because like him and Pickles were buds, even though now it's different. Spider's had he's met weird dogs, and now he's like, Pickles is cool, but you probably like Pickles. I can't wait to take her I hope she can come trail riding with us. She's turning 11, so she's not going to be able to go for all day, right? This guy's turning 18 this year, and my goal is trail riding. That's it. This horse is a amazing trail horse. Every Akhal-Teki I've ever met is brave as fuck. Brave as fuck, sound as fuck. No fuck. I think their only hereditary issues are alopecia and parrot mouth. That's it. There you go. The problems with Akhal-Teki, because they're super dry-faced, right? So they're going to have, and there's limited blood, so they're going to have certain genetic things, but that's it. I mean, you look at the list of what's wrong with warm bloods. Look, any warm blood, pick warm blood, and there's like a huge genetic list of problems. Some quarter horses have the whole HYPP thing, like with, and that's from a specific bloodline. So like this kind of stuff is, it's it gets ridiculous. But if we are going in as informed as we can, and to be able to understand every moment of my horse's life, so not like just throwing them off at a boarding stable and not paying attention to them and putting them between hot yoga and the bank and how many likes you have and how cool and rad you are and fucking sitting, like it's not about, getting your makeup done for 6 hours and then your hair done and then sitting there and then framing it up and then making retakes. It's not it. That's not what horsemanship is. None of it is. Every time people are doing that, they're wasting time but not being at the barn. That's what horsemanship is. It's hanging out with horses. So I'm going to talk about this specific horse because I know fucking everything about him. I even know the selection process that went into his selection of his parents in Russia, and my friend was the one that imported them. I can talk to her directly about the entire process. I know every single thing about this horse. And I also trust him with my life. Like, you'll see in my shorts, either he's being ridden in a bozal or just his halter. Like, and I just, like, I think in one of them, I'd throw the rope up and I'm like, there you go. And, that video, he hadn't been ridden in a saddle since October. And that was taken today in January 13th. So, like, he's fucking a good horse. And, but I got to get him in shape because the way that Akateki they're long, narrow weirdos. And so they're not really wide and big. They don't have a lot of muscle. So when they kind of atrophy and stand around in the wintertime, they just kind of get big fat bellies and no muscle. And so I have to fit him up now that he's getting older too. So I have to take a slow process. It's walking, and he does a lot of side passing. He does a lot of lateral work. He's very good at it. Backing, slowly backing nice and straight and just a couple steps at a time here and there, walking up hills and stuff like that, slowly going to get him in shape because he's got an old injury. Like, we all have old injuries. What horse person doesn't have old injuries? And if you don't have old injuries, you haven't been around horses long enough. And that's just it. That's just it. End of sentence. Good horseman limp. Or stretch before they ride. That's another thing we do. We got to be like, oh, and like stretch because it's an actual thing. It's a physical activity. Your entire body is engaged and connected to another living animal. So, yeah, you've got to be in, you can't be like, oh, I got to get on with a sore back and this is going to be, no, if you want to ride, you get on and you ride. And that's what this whole process is about with Spider. So he's going to be my trail guy this year. I'm going to be going with a friend of mine, and we just basically sit and talk shit, just hang out. She's riding her horse she's had for 22 years. Tyler's 27. He's an appy and he's fucking awesome. And he's going to go out, and that horse looks just like he did when he was 12, except he's just a little bit whiter. He's just like, and just such a neat old horse. And I've known her forever, my friend Lindsay, and we're going to just go off in trail rides. You can hear a lot of shit talking about that. We'll probably end up just talking about horses during that time. I'm going to try to figure out a way to either get a GoPro, which is never a priority. This guy, FYI, if you see anything getting filmed, it's going to be like a GoPro strapped to my, because I'm not going to frame things up and waste. I'm sorry, I cannot waste that time. I can't. It frustrates me. I look at it. Oh, he went out of frame. Done. And that's what happens. Like, I'm not spending any time. I way rather pay attention to what I'm doing. Like it's a beast I'll talk about too. Is another horse that I'll bring up and talk about for sure. And Spider is going to be very interesting because, like, I legitimately trust this horse with my life. Like, if I was riding in the middle of the night and I had to ride through the night, I wouldn't doubt a single thing this horse did. I would just throw the rope down and just let him do his thing. I just say, yep, let's just go, buddy. You want to stop? We stop. That's it. Like it would be up to him, you know? And I also trust that he would protect me. That I can guarantee. He has protected me in this environment where he's standing right now. Was out in the bush off the west coast of Vancouver Island, and I have video of a bear in that tree that has got the branches. That's a maple. That maple, I have a video of a bear called Starvin' Marvin sitting up in that tree. And he also used to sit in another tree just in front of this window. We had a cougar there called Slim. Deer all over the place, elk all over the place. It was the bush. We lived in the bush. And this horse is, he just is an exceptional horse. But Akalteki are not for everybody, because you have to be willing to put all your time in. It's like any kind of a really involved breed of dog. You can't just be like, here's a Malinois, and I'm just going to throw my Malinois, let them sit on the couch all day. Like, that just doesn't happen. Malinois, that's not the case with Malinois. And that's the same thing with Akalteki. They gotta be your life. That's it. There's no pissing around. There's no spending 6 hours getting your hair done. There's none of that kind of stuff all the time. That's not a priority in your life. Your horse is your priority in your life when you're hanging out with Akalteki particularly. These are life-changing horses. Like, they've legitimately changed the lives of human beings and created societies. They fought in our wars. They're immortalized all over the world. Look up monuments in Turkmenistan. Look up Horse Day in Turkmenistan. Look up, like, the importance of these horses. But because everybody's so set on, this is my insert saddle, insert discipline, insert this here, and I'm rad, they forget that horses are what's rad, and horsemanship is nothing without horses. It's walking. It's not doing anything. It's horse-human relationship, horsemanship. That's what it means. Horse is the first word. Horse is all that matters. Your horses eat before you eat. Your horses are done before you go. All of it. That's all horsemanship is. Equinese is learned by doing that, and each individual teaches you their own version. I know a horse like Spider exists because Spider is there, and what Spider's taught me is a secret, and that it's called horsemanship, not forcemanship. Nothing to do with force exists in Equinese. It's a language. You don't headlock somebody because you're speaking French. You don't tweak their nipple because you're speaking, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter what discipline. There's no like this amount of abuse is allowed because it's insert. And I'm going to talk about that in another video coming up. Actually, I'm going to do that one right after this because I'm really horse set today because I rode Spider. He's just such a hero. Like, you know what I mean? He's just such an awesome, but you know what? He can act like a real dick. He can really act like a dick. Like when he decides to throw his head out and when he goes along with his brain and he's like, no, and then that's it. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot sometimes, but that's what hot-blooded horses are. Hot-blooded horses can say, I'm going to go, because their lungs are the size of Buicks, and their hearts are the size of, like, those kind of, like, prize pumpkins. And they can, if they want to act dumb and they get it in their head that flight's number one, good luck tiring one out. Thoroughbred Arab or Akalteki or cross within everything within therein. Good luck tiring that horse out. So a lot of people end up forcing them. That's with all the gear and the shit and the stuff and the things and the leverage and the unawareness of anatomy and just the simple understanding that horses are actually very peaceful. Just watch them. They stand there, fart, swish flies, and eat all day. That's really it. They might kind of go, yeah, every so often, but very rarely. Horses are lazy. They want to graze all day and do jack. That's what horses want to do. They want to conserve their energy for when they need to survive, like when they need to run for their lives or when they need to fight for their lives. So they're all about the conservation of energy. Everything is about the conservation of energy. Why do you think TikTokers exist? Because it's hard work? No, it's because it's easy work. Because nobody wants to get out there and put the calluses in. They all want to sit and yap about it, but they don't want to get out and put the calluses in and get those hours in. It's every day. So that's why these things are going to mostly be me talking, is because I expect people to be listening as they're doing their chores and doing shit. I don't want people to stop and to watch, Sometimes you will, because I'm going to be like, the next one's going to be probably some illustrations and me just kind of talking about a subject of hyperflexion and things like that. Has a lot to do with feel, has a ton to do with relationships. And that's where I'm going to go with that one. So anyways, I'm going to stop this one, start that one. Sorry, shit's getting weird. Welcome to Equinese and Horsemanship, a bunch of friggin' weirdos.